टेक्नोलॉजी स्टैक हम लोग अपने आप आत्मनिर्भर होकर हम लोग बनाएंगे, इसलिए मैं इस बिल का समर्थन करता हूं। आपको
श्री भर्तृहरि मेहताब जी।
थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू सर। I don't know in which generation we are in telecommunication, but we have seen telephones which were being operated by the company's operator. We used to give a number, and after some time, we used to get connected to that number. Subsequently, number please, yes. Subsequently, it so happened that we thought that we can move around the room so that we can get connected at ease. That's how a long wire also was connected to the telephone, and that's how we could move around holding the telephone in our hand and also speaking. Then technology came that if there is a group of people sitting around you and you want to speak confidentially, then a remote phone or a cordless phone was provided by the market and also by the company, and we used to move around with that cordless telephone. And cordless also developed another technology, especially, I would say, for public persons who are in public life, that if I am talking to someone and pleading for a person who is very close to me, I want that person also to hear what the other side is saying. So I put the speaker phone on so that he hears that what is the response from the other side. And that helped to a great extent, even today it helps a great extent to the persons who are in public life. Subsequently, it has undergone a change during the 90s, especially in our country, later part of 90s, when mobile technology came into being. And I remember in 98, when Mr. Pramod Mahajan was the Minister for Communication and IT, he had visited with a group of technocrats to China, and when he came back, he was speaking very profusely that there the youngsters are, everybody is having a mobile in their hand. When are we going to have that? That was, in a way, he was exhorting himself. And it came. And I had the fortune, I think some of the members even are today in this house, that we saw the new telecom policy taking place. And one would think it otherwise. The chairman of that committee was Mr. Somnath Chatterjee. Their party was totally against opening of telecom sector to market. And I have seen for 3 years the manner in which he guided us, the committee, to how to open it up. And during that, between 2001 2000, though the policy was of 1996, subsequently underwent number of changes, the telecom policy changed. There was large section of the society who were opposed to provide or allow private players to come in. And national secret will be divulged if we allow private players to come in. And when I'm going through the bill today, the national security word also comes again and again. And it is not only controlling a public sector undertaking. Provisions have been made to control and regulate private sector also. Is it necessary or not necessary? How far our privacy boundary extends? That is a matter which can be debated, discussed inside this house, outside the house, in a court of law. But the point here is, when I'm communicating certain things to someone, how much the state can interfere? That is the basic question which needs to be answered in a civilized society. Therefore, when coming back to the bill, I would say it's an interesting piece of legislation, and it is in safe hands. The minister is capable enough to navigate, no matter in what manner in which the House is existing today and also in the other House. But this bill, I would say, will replace the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, the Wireless Telegraphy Act of 1933, and the Telegraph Wires Unlawful Possession Act of 1950. These are seen as colonial and post-colonial relics that are unsuitable for a sector that has seen dramatic changes in recent times, especially during last 25 or 30 years. It has changed exponentially. At a time when we were reading in our Puranas that how come in the nail one could see something which is far, far away, or in the palm, if a picture can be seen, it is a reality today. The Telecommunication Bill 2023 has proposed major changes in regulatory mechanism. There are a number of other changes also that is being affected, but the regulatory mechanism, including simplification of licensing, clarity on spectrum assignment, and stringent requirement for user verification. Current licensing regime for telecom network is being removed towards an authorization system. As the telecom department issues more than 100 types of licenses, registrations, and permissions, currently the bill seeks to club many of these in a single authorization process. This bill opens the door for administrative allocation of spectrum for satellite broadband services, which is the global norm today. This could be a big win for Bharti Airtel's OneWeb, Elon Musk's Starlink, and Amazon's Kuiper. The assignment of spectrum, whether through auction or administrative means, for satellite communication was at the heart of the debate between the government and a divided industry. The telecom department even went to ask the telecom regulator, TRAI, for modalities relating to auctioning satellite spectrum. While Reliance Jio had called for auctioning of spectrum rather than administrative allocation, OneWeb had, within quote, recommended the administrative route against a fee in order to promote investment and make sure competitive prices are available to the market at the end. Starlink recommended to impose nominal spectrum charges to ensure affordable access of services. All this comes in the backdrop of, as you very well remember, sir, Supreme Court's order of 22 ruling in the 2G spectrum, in 2012 ruling of 2G spectrum. Allocation of spectrum by the UPA government, which was declared illegal. More than 100 telecom licenses were cancelled, and there was a very big the PSC also went into that. CAG gave a report. Number of things also happened. Now coming to the bill, sir, a pertinent question is, are there any concerns about provisions of this bill? Previously, government took steps such as
Please be
suspending
brief.
internet services.
Please be brief. Ji.
Yes, just 3-4 minutes. Sir. Suspending internet services in areas marred by violence till peaceful conditions prevail. This has also been a topic of debate. But now the bill proposes to empower government to take temporary possession of the network. Temporary possession of the network within court. Minister may clarify what is possession and how would the temporary period be defined. Coming to the third point, sir. Is it true that through this bill, TRAI will become a rubber stamp as this bill considerably dilutes the regulatory power? Appointment of private sector corporate executives for the role of TRAI chairperson is going to become a reality, the manner in which the provisions are being made in this bill. The bill says an executive may be appointed if such person has at least 30 years of professional experience and has served as a member of the board of directors or a chief executive of a company. Last point, sir. This bill allows the government to take over telecom services and intercept messages in the interest of national security and in case of emergencies. I understand at time of trouble, emergency, it becomes necessary to confine a certain message or certain issues to that area alone so that you can control unnecessary activities or disruptive activities. But how far, at what level it can be monitored and a decision has to be taken, that is not defined here. Perhaps the Minister can tell us in detail how it will be decided, at what level it will be decided, under what law it will be decided. A 2022 draft had expressly mentioned online communication services such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and Telegram as telecommunication services. Experts believe the definition of such services in the current bill has been whittled down and kept open to potentially regulate online platforms as well.
Thank you.
Therefore, I would say number of issues are also there, and as I have flagged only some of them, I believe other members also will be deliberating on those other issues, and we expect that a regulator has to be independent and government also should have, for law and order situation, little bit of control, but it should not be a blanket control.
Shri Shrang,
thank you, sir.
Shri Rang Appa Barne ji.